Hi, my name is Christian Hernandez from Isovalent, now part of Cisco. And have you heard that Isovalent Enterprise Networking for Kubernetes has been certified on OpenShift? That's right. Isovalent Enterprise Networking for Kubernetes is a certified CNI plugin for OpenShift. So why is this exciting? Using Cilium, OpenShift administrators have complete end-to-end control of the Kubernetes network using Cilium networking policies. Switching over to my OpenShift cluster, you can see that I've used the Operator Hub to install Isovalent Enterprise Networking for Kubernetes. Dropping down to the command line, you can see that the Cilium CNI has been installed, and in fact, that is the only CNI that's on this system. I have an application running on this cluster that's made up of various components, the core of which is an API. One part of the application is made up of a site that lists things for sale. Another part of this application that hits the same API lists things that are under $100 for those that would want a great deal. There's an issue with this application, however. It allows connections from any other namespace other than the namespace that the application is running in. So if I drop down to the command line, I can connect to this API using a curl command from inside a pod. So in this instance, I'm in the demo namespace, and I can hit the API and set something for under $100 or $100. In this instance, I kind of like that iPhone. I'm going to set that for $100. And as you can see, it allowed me to make that update. So if I go to the browser and I refresh the deals page, you can see that that iPhone 17 is now listed for $100. So lots can be done to prevent this in terms of an application update, but an administrator can mitigate this now using a Cilium networking policy. So looking at the Cilium networking policy, I can get pretty granular and say, hey, what I want is that anything that is trying to reach the API needs to be part of this application, right? So we're doing this with labels, and what I'm doing is I'm allowing connection from anything that's part of this application to port 8080. So let's apply this policy. Once this policy is in place, I can try to set something else. For instance, if I want that Google Pixel for $100, I can try to set that, and it denied me. Switching over to my Timescape UI, which is the observability and monitoring system for Cilium, you can see that the demo application from outside the namespace did try to hit it, but that it was denied. If I go down here, I can see that this policy has been denied and the connection was actually dropped. Another issue exists though. If I go down to the command line, I have this deals application that should really be a read-only application, meaning that it should hit the API, but is allowed to hit the API, but only can do read operations. But if I actually go and try to update, say, that iPhone and Google Pixel, it'll actually allow me. Why? Well, because the Go List Deals is part of this application, but it should only have read-only access. Going down to the browser, and I reload the page, you can see that now my Google Pixel and iPhone 17 are both at $100. So seeing this, you'll know that you can clearly see and know that networking layer 3 policies isn't enough in this case. Again, a lot can be done to update this application, but as an administrator, I can mitigate this now by setting up a even more granular networking policy. For instance, now I'm targeting the GoList front end, not just the GoList application in general. And I want to not only allow to ports 8080, but I'm also going to set some layer 7 rules. For instance, I'm going to set that the GoList front end can only hit this backend API and use these methods only. Going even further, I say, you know what, the GoList deals should be able to hit the API, but should only be able to do get operations. meaning that if this application ever gets compromised, the Go list steals, that it should only be able to get read operations should be allowed. I shouldn't be allowed to update the API. So let's apply this. And once this is applied, let's try for another one, right? I saw a nice car that was available. Let's set that for $100. And that has been dropped. So going over to the browser, I can reload the page and see that the car was not updated. And in fact, in Timescape, I can go in and see that not only was it dropped, but I can also see that that layer 7 connection was dropped as well. Dropping down to the command line, I can actually use Hubble, it's a CLI command line, to observe any connections that is kind of a TC dump-like kind of experience. And I can say, show me everything that's been dropped. And you can see here, you'll see the similar information that things like things that were denied and things that were dropped. And in fact, you can see that put operation was dropped as well. Using Isovalent Enterprise Networking for Kubernetes and OpenShift gives OpenShift administrators the power to manage and secure their network. And in this video, we saw you were able not only to set layer 3 rules, but also layer 7 as well. You were also able to use Timescape and Hubble to monitor and see information about the connections that were coming back and forth. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to learn more about Cilium, we invite you to get hands-on by going to isovalent.com/labs. Thank you.